Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our very our very last Pinnie demo for the year. Maybe we'll do it again in the future, but we're for sure going to take a little break here because we all have lots of pincushions now. It was fun. Christine asked on the Facebook yesterday, what have you guys been doing with all your pincushions? Are you decorating your sewing room with them? Or I have a fun little bowl on my dining room table that you can kind of change out different holidays and stuff like that. So it's been fun that we've done some holiday ones, just kind of throw them in the bowl for some decorating. So it's fun, but we're really excited because the last one we're going to do, actually I was reading through the book. This is the book that we've been using, the Pin Pals. And this one's on page 85. And actually Carrie, the author of the book, says that this may not be her absolute favorite pincushion, but it's her favorite shape to make in the pincushion. So it is. It's really fun. So we've got this cute little cube shape that we're going to do. And in the kits, we gave you a couple of different options. So this is the way the pattern is written. So it has all these little teeny tiny strips. And actually you cut all of those at 1 by 2, right?
Yes.
1 inch by 2 inch. So you can
2.
see they finish at just a half an inch, all those little pieces. But I wanted to quick make one up and see what would happen if I just did 2-inch squares. Because when you sew the 3 1-inch squares together, you get a 2-inch square. So I did mine with just the squares. So, of course, I had to have bananas. I love bananas.
Her favorite fabric.
My favorite fabric is something with bananas on it. So this one is actually just a stripe. I didn't piece it. It's just a stripe fabric. So these are all just with 2-inch squares. So then Christine got really clever. Because what we gave you in the kit was a 2-inch strip, and it's big enough that you can either cut a square out of it. So you have 18 different ones because that's how many 2-inch squares you need. And you can either cut that strip into 1-inch strips, 3 1-inch strips, right? 3. Well, we give them maybe 2. I don't know. Anyway, you have plenty of fabric to decide which way that you want to do it with like 18 different kinds. So it'll be real scrappy and cute. So Christine got really clever and she did some striped, and then she did a couple that she left like kind of fussy cut. Like that one has the new little hippo, and this one has the little bird from the hippo. And then this one's just a square. So she mixed, this one's really cute with the flower. So she just kind of mixed doing some of both. So this one is going to give you lots of options. So anyway, we'll let Christine do her little, tell you kind of how to put it together.
Well, this one is super easy. So in the book, the instructions right here tell you a bunch of layouts. So what she does is she sews 3 of your 1-inch by 2-inch strips together to form your little square, which ends up being a 2-inch square. So the one thing that you can do is these are your 3-inch or your 3 by or
your 3 1 by 2s.
3 1 by 2s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can sew them together and just turn them. So you'd have these vertical and then this horizontal, and then you can do that throughout the whole thing, which gives you this little guy. And then if you want to, you can do the strips plus a solid, and then the strips, and then you would reverse it on the bottom. So you would do a solid, and then some strips. Or you can do the one that has just all the squares. So there's a lot of variety.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of different ways
them
to do it.
Both. So like Donna said, this one right here has some little fussy cut squares, but it also has the pieced squares next to it, which would be this section. So and when you get it done, it's kind of so mixed up that you really, you don't see a lot of different things.
So
in it
this
anyway.
one, how you got the one in the middle here, is that the middle of your...
So be mindset of that if you're going to do the solids. Whatever one you would prefer to have right in the middle is going to be the one that really showcase.
Because all the outside ones get kind of folded into the cube.
Right. So once you sew them all together, you'll have 2 sets of those. and you're going to layer it with your batting that's included in your kit, and then you're just going to sew quilt that. So what I did is I did straight lines diagonally. I've done wiggly lines. I mean, you can do any type of quilting that you want to do on it. So you would have two in here, it'll show. So right here, you're going to see where it's going to be a full square, and then you're going to cut your 1-inch squares out of each corner.
Oh, okay.
So when you cut your 1-inch squares out, it's going to look like this. And then once you're done,
So one of the sides you have to leave a little opening.
yeah,
Yes,
there
you're
is
going to
an-
put the right sides
you
together.
got a little opening right here. So once you do your square cutouts, then you're going to make all your little corners. And in order to do that, I was trying to make sure I could show both. So this one, you're just going to line up with a pin so that your seams are going opposite directions. So
They kind of nest.
right here, yes, they nest together. And you want to make sure that they do nest, because if you look right here, you can see that they line up, and that's what you want. So once you get those lined up with your pin and you have your seams going opposite directions, then you would just finish the next one. But just make sure that they're still going the opposite directions so that you get them right. And then once you're done, you'll have a whole square with these all put together like this. So it'll kind of look like a little cube. And then in your opening, you'll just turn it right side out and then start filling and then sew it up. It's simple.
Yeah, I mean, this one, the biggest part is, kind of figuring out your layout and how you want it to look. So
And just have fun with it, because there's
it's
no
really fun.
rhyme or reason. Like on
So
this
scrappy.
little guy, I kind of matched all the colors, and I did a graduation of colors again. So one whole side I did the purples and pinks, and then the other side I did the yellows and greens. But I mean, you can do absolutely anything.
Yeah. Anything
just
goes on
mix
this.
them all up.
Yeah, anything goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's fun to make it scrappy, because then it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, so if there's something in your kit you don't like, substitute it with something you have that you like. I mean, you could make a million of these. They're so fun and cute.
I did fussy cut a few of the,
Even your
the little, because I love the flowers on these prints. So if you look on this one, you can see the little flowers. I just fussy cut them in there just for fun.
Yeah. Can't get too much fussy with a little 1-inch,
No.
half-inch finished. It's not going to show too much.
No. So that's why, and then on these that have like the little birds and stuff, I made sure that there was enough room around them for my seam allowance, so that I didn't lose any of that. And even the little flower, I made sure it was as centered as much as I could. So yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the one that'll showcase the most, the middle one.
Yep. That one gets to stay on both sides. So, yeah, I didn't plan mine very well because I just have a plain solid orange in the middle.
Doesn't matter.
Should have put my bananas in the middle. I
Yes.
realized that after I put it together, because then I actually sewed it together there, and I don't like where I sewed it together as much as the rest of it. So that's gonna be on the bottom. You can't even see my bananas.
And when you're putting your crushed walnuts in, the thing that I find helpful is pushing them into the corners.
Yeah.
So just get your finger in there and just kind of push and tuck
Yeah.
into your corners, because sometimes when you get after you're done, you're really kind of squeezing it and trying to make sure that it's in there.
Yeah.
And that helps. That helps get it, distributed enough so you can actually start doing your little closing seam. And that's about it, really. It was really a simple, fun little cube, and it looks hard because it's a cube,
But it's not really a cube. Like I'm picturing, you put these three next to each other, then that one, and that one next to each other. It doesn't end up being a real square.
Oh, it does.
How?
It does.
Like
When
if
you-
you take that.
Yeah,
and
when
go
you
to
when you
that,
piece them all together,
Yeah.
you get that's your two squares.
So see, there's three different blocks in every row.
Okay, so you
So-
do. So you.
You would sew these three together, and that would become
that's right, and it becomes
that becomes
smaller.
a 2-inch
Thank
block.
you.
Yeah.
And then
No
you would
true beginner here. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And you know, like we said,
Okay.
you could just do the 2-inch blocks. This
Right.
is just a different variety of,
Thank you for
yeah. Yes.
No,
yes.
that's good.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
no, we're glad
Okay.
you're asking
Yeah.
because we don't want to have you confused on it because
No.
it's something so simple. But
Yeah.
once you sew them together, you get that 2-inch
then they're
block.
square.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And are you doing 1/4 inch?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
1/4 inch seams.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Yeah, the 1/4 inch seam.
And on the quilting of it, you're just going to layer this. Once you get that whole block done, you're going to layer it down with your batting, and you're just going to sew over it. And it doesn't have to be like super close, just
Yeah.
enough to kind of hold it together.
Yeah, because see, like this one, she did diagonal lines. Mine, I just did like some straight lines. So you can do whatever you want. And then this one, she just kind of went around the squares. She didn't even quilt in that part. So that part is just totally up to you what you want to do with
And that's
the.
just to hold the batting. in
Yeah.
place.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to give it a little more.
Yeah, all I
substance.
did was I just sewed down the rows and across, and I didn't sew on the blocks themselves.
For that
Yeah,
one. This
for
one.
this
yeah.
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for joining our Pinnie Club. We've had a lot of fun and hope
Made
you
a
guys
lot
have
of cute
enjoyed
ones.
it. Yeah, we did. We did. See you later.
See ya.